What we're saying, guys, it's me, Zilo, and I'm back with another video. Hoping this video is going to cheer me up today, as I'm not actually in the best of moods. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one today, but we pushing through. I thought, what better way to cheer me up than by doing another breakdown video. This time I'm gonna do, like, I guess the songs I've dropped this year, and I'll fling Know That I Want You in the mix from a few years ago, because I don't think I ever broke that song down. So let's get to it. Know That I Want You I wrote in 2016, I believe, and yeah, I mean, the song title kind of gives it away. It's Know That I Want You. I wrote this song with sorry, I'm taking my socks off. I wrote this song with Dandelion and Cairo. Super cool. It was actually the first song that I ever wrote with Dandelion. The first time we met, and went to his place with my best friend and stayed overnight because he lived kind of far. I mean, and he had a studio in his house. Either way, it was like a super dope experience because we all just clicked and worked really well together. My best friend already knew him, and he's the one who introduced us. And yeah, I guess at the time I had somebody who I really liked, and I wanted them to know. You know, we were sort of playing games and not really expressing ourselves properly to each other. So this was sort of me just expressing my feelings and saying, look, like, I want to be with you, what are you saying? Funny story, but it's not funny. Well, it wasn't funny at the time, but it is kind of funny looking back on it now, is I couldn't stay the full night at Dan's place because I had an asthma attack. I have really bad asthma. It flares up every now and then, but the room we were staying in was the studio room, and I just think inevitably in studio rooms with like band equipment, because it had actual like instruments, drums and different guitars and like a kind of little stage thing. It was mad cool. But we were standing there, and stupidly I didn't bring my inhaler. I thought I did. I travel everywhere with it, but not that day for some reason. I must have like changed bags or something. And yeah, I started noticing my chest getting tight. I have a really bad dust allergy, so I know it was to do with dust. I'm allergic to dust, and I'm allergic to animal fur. And he didn't have any animals, so it was a dust situation. And I noticed my chest getting tight, and I tried to ignore it, but as the evening went on, it got progressively worse, and I was trying to stay calm and not panic once I realized I didn't have my inhaler, because I knew, damn, what could be just a light asthmatic sensation could have been relieved with my inhalers, but because I didn't have them, I knew it could escalate. Anyway, cut a long story short, the night went on, and I was like trying super hard not to cough. And my best friend was like to me, are you alright? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, nah, let's call an ambulance, because it got to the point of where I couldn't breathe. So we called the ambulance, and I had to go into hospital in an area that I'm not familiar with. So yeah, that was an experience I won't forget. But yeah, that was that. Next song, I Don't Want to Go Outside. I wrote this to a beat sent by my homie Matthew, and whose artist name is Insightful. Dope production. I thought it was really awesome, and that I don't want to go outside, but just sort of came to me, because I mean, I don't be wanting to go outside. I wrote this pre-coronavirus, where we actually just wasn't allowed to go outside. This was more so just an expression of my introversion, and that I just don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to go to your stupid parties or events or like out. I just want to be in my room, doing cool stuff at home. And yeah, so I wrote a song about it. Kept it short and sweet because it just was like a fleeting thought, and I thought it would be more impactful that way. Also, that was just the length of the production, and I didn't want to extend it. It just felt right for it to be that length. So I wrote that. I posted a snippet before I'd finished the song on my Instagram, and people seemed to really like it, so I was just like, yeah, cool. Dropped it right before we actually weren't allowed to go outside. So part of me thinks that was that some weird premonition thing, but who knows? Couldn't have been better timing though, in terms of relatability, because for me it's always just gonna be relatable, one, because I wrote it, but that's just me, whether I'm allowed to go out or not. But yeah, I think more people ended up relating to it, because at first nobody wanted to go out. Now if people heard that song, they'd probably be like, turn it off, because I do want to go outside. Weird was the next song that I dropped. Weird's one of my favourite songs I think I've ever written, just in terms of subject matter, so like the concept, and it's fun. I like stepped out my comfort zone a little bit when it came to like the ad-libs. I got some of my favourite ad-libs, like bitch as an ad-lib is quality, like that's funny to me. It's based on a true story. It's kind of about more than one person, but like I speak about a specific kind of situation in the verses. Generally speaking, it's just about when you have people that you clock are just watching your every move, and it's weird. They don't say anything to you, but they just watch. Whether it's someone you know personally, someone you don't really know like that, but you see them keep coming up like on your story, or like just watching what you do and not saying anything. I find that weird. If you're gonna watch, at least interact, bro, like, you know. But in the verses, it's about a kind of specific scenario that happened to me with somebody that I crossed paths with on like a working sort of level. If you're watching this, no hard feelings. I mean, a great song came out of it, but I felt how he acted was kind of weird. And that's that. I wrote a song about it. They were weird, really cool people at the time, I thought, but ultimately immature and weird. And I don't like the watching things that I wrote a song about, and I just thought it would be funny because I've experienced it before, like in terms of having an actual genuine stalker who also influenced the kind of more expressive, like bitch, weird. That wasn't necessarily towards that other person, because I don't really feel that way towards them. It wasn't really a big deal. They just were a fan and took it too far, was sneaky a little bit, and just moved a bit weird for my liking. So yeah, this is weird. It's funny, but yeah, I thought, why don't I write a song about it, get it out of my system. Pretty sure I was waved when I wrote it as well, so the feeling was sort of more heightened. But I move through things quickly, and ultimately I think, you know, I'm used to the fact that people are gonna speculate or pre or watch. It's just a part of life. And yeah, some people take it a bit too far and get all weird about it. Yeah, so we write songs about them. Yeah. Next song on the list is Tell Her, another song I love. Oh, that's Weird and Tell Her, produced by Bowtie. I realised in the other video I referred to him both as Will and Bowtie. His name's Will, but artist name's Bowtie. Love Tell Her. Immediately when I heard the beat, I think it's like the bass line, it just, yeah, it moved me. It felt like, the bass line felt like moving through something, so I wanted to talk about moving through something that felt difficult. Excuse me, which ended up being, you know, the subject matter of being with somebody that you really like and them having an ex that won't fuck off, basically, and sort of battling between knowing that you trust your partner ultimately, but still just not liking the fact that there's an aspect of their past that they still have in their present, and coming to terms with that. That's something I've felt before. That's something I've also been in the sense that I've had someone from my past around when I'm like moving forward. So I feel like I've experienced what it feels like on probably both ends, and I wanted to write a song about that sort of frustration. It's like, you know, sometimes you don't want to admit that you feel jealous, but yeah, ultimately that feeling is jealousy, like why don't you tell them to go away, you know? And I think it's important to acknowledge what is just an insecurity of your own, but then also to acknowledge, why wouldn't they get rid of somebody from their past? And it's not that they gotta be mean to them, just like, why do you need them to be in your presence so bad? You can be cool with them and be cordial and speak, but don't do too much. Last but not least, On a Wave. Yeah, On a Wave. Wrote this song, I'll say with, but not with. I say with about all these people, but majority of the time I'm at home by myself, so they produced and I wrote. With a guy called L Train. He sent me a bunch of production. This one stood out the most to me, loved it. It felt like a kind of summery, positive kind of vibe. And I wrote this the day after someone really pissed me off. And I think why I was pissed off is because I was in such a good mood and somebody close to me was not in a good mood, and my good mood bothered them. So they tried to project their bad mood onto me so that I'd feel the same shitty feeling they felt. And I've experienced that before, and I think especially like the more I've been growing and just becoming happier and more myself, it's very noticeable to me when my happiness or my joy or my growth bothers somebody, and I don't fuck with that. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. I don't fuck with that. Nobody should be bothered by you being in a good mood. If they are, they gotta bounce. I have no time for that energy. I know what it comes from, where it stems from, and I understand everybody's going through their own issues and their own shit, but I don't do that. I don't personally project my bad moods onto anybody. I can establish when something's a me issue, and I would not even dream of trying to project that onto anybody else. I think accountability is super important. Yeah, ultimately I have empathy for that, but I don't want that around me, bro. I'm on a wave, mate. I'm feeling good, and if you're not on that, if you can't match that vibe, then get out my way, because you're in my way. So yeah, I feel like it's a really empowering song, and it is just, ever since I wrote that, and if I ever feel in that mood or peep that someone's trying to come at me with that energy, I blast the song so loud, and it's just like, yeah, bitch, don't ruin my day. Like nothing can kill my joy, nothing can kill my vibe. Can't quite remember where that ended, but hopefully it ended when it finished. I got a phone call that lasted about an hour, so either way I haven't wrapped up the video, so I'm just gonna say, if you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I'm gonna try and film like 2 more videos today, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I do, but I may not. But yeah, I'm gonna see you in my next video.